Donald Trump is back, and the Trump 2.0 promises to be as interesting as the Trump 1.0, if not more. Now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi was one of the first of the global leaders to have spoken to him and congratulated him for his splendid victory. Of course, we all know the chemistry that both leaders share, while many see Trump's coming back to power as a positive development for India. The smarter ones say that while it is good one will have to wait and watch. This is because Trump has already spoken out against trade tariffs, which affects India.
When India, which is a very big abuser, he happens to be coming to meet me next week.
Also, any trade battle that will fight with China could end up having an effect on India. You can call it the ripple effect. But the idea is that India would be able to talk and convey its concerns and work out a mutually acceptable solution with Trump. But what about the defense sector? Remember that while India is focusing on India first, Trump is focusing on America first. One big concern and fear is that Trump is very transactional, very businesslike. So he would want to know what India can give for him to give or do something. And this is where the defense sector becomes a crucial factor. Now, before I go further, I actually want to thank you for watching this video, for supporting us, and for being a part of the Print family. Remember that whatever we do at the Print, we try and do it from the ground, which means that our reporters are constantly traveling and getting you stories from the ground itself. Now, all of this comes at a cost, and hence I request you to subscribe to the Print. You can see the process that you need to follow on the screen to become a part of the Print family. The next big defense deal in works is the IAF's plan to procure the MRFA. As the Print reported earlier, last month, the government is in a fix trying to find out the least controversial manner to acquire the fighter jets. The options before the government is to either go in for an emergency procurement of, let's say, another 72 Rafale jets as it did in 2016. However, the problem is that Dassault Aviation has a huge backlog, and by the time they start delivering, it will be some years from now, if not a decade. Also, there won't be any Make in India factor, except maybe sourcing some parts from India, and this flies against the government's plan, the whole Atmanirbharta push. No company, let alone an aircraft manufacturer, will set up a production facility in India for such low numbers. Years back, the Dassault chief had made it clear that they need a minimum order of 100 to make it happen. The other option is to go in for either procurement of the second runner-up in the MMRCA contract, the Eurofighter Typhoon. I'm just amazed at how many countries India will have to tackle, or maybe just go for the Gripen, as that was initially planned by the IAF after 36 Rafales were bought in emergency contract in 2016, and the then Defense Minister Manohar Parrikar had made it clear no more of Rafales because of the cost involved. The third option, a very likely option, is to have a full-fledged repeat of the MMRCA, now MRFA, procurement process. And this is where the Trump administration could play a significant role. There will be two American companies in fray, the Boeing along with the Lockheed Martin, and it is expected that Trump will fully bat for an American fighter. During the naval contract for carrier-borne fighters, the Biden administration did not put any undue pressure on the Indian government, and India went with what it thought was best in the overall strategic interest, besides, of course, technical. So that is something one will really have to watch out for with Trump. The other big project relates to the GF404, deliveries of which are delayed by nearly 2 years, setting the entire Tejas Mark 1A delivery schedule up in the air. It is expected that India will be able to reach out to Trump and ensure that GE delivers them on a priority basis. But the biggest project is that of the GF414 engines that is meant to be co-manufactured in India. the formal contract for it between GE and the HAL is under discussion. Experts say that one is not sure how much technology transfer and manufacturing in India would Trump support, because he is focused at making jobs available in the US and also protecting American technologies. And this TOT bid will affect several projects that were identified under the ISET. All of this will be largely dependent on how Trump will deal with China. If he is going to take a more hawkish approach towards China, he will be keen to develop deeper ties with India, which means he will go easy when it comes to technology transfer and co-production. It is feared that since Trump is very transactional, there would be constant pressure on India to do more. One deal that could come to fructify is the deal for Integrated Air Defense Weapon System, that is the IADWS, which comprises of the Sentinel radar systems, AMRAAMs and the Stinger missiles. While India has traditionally been dependent on Russia for defense equipment, it is now diversifying. Though the US and the Western world have been critical of India's continuous ties with Russia, things could be smoother under the Trump since he is more practical. However, no major big-ticket defense deal is expected to be signed between India and Russia for now, not because there is a US pressure, but because of India's own priorities and areas of focus. But Trump's first tenure had witnessed tensions regarding India's purchase of the Russian S-400 air defense system with threats of the Katsa. Although no punitive measures were ultimately imposed, Trump administration had passed this law to discourage countries from maintaining defense relationship with Russia, and Trump is likely to continue with this approach. While Trump coming back to power will have no significant impact on the line of actual control, it would be visible in the Indo-Pacific. As I said before, how Trump decides to take on China will decide a lot. Remember that no US president before Trump had really, in as many words, termed China as a strategic threat and rival. His actions were seen as a departure from years and years of US policy ambiguity when it came to restraining China's rise. Trump might push for a more pronounced military aspect of the quadrilateral security dialogue, that is the Quad, a move India has so far approached with caution. Other military projects that could see a push from Trump would be to move to American systems, from missiles to naval helicopters like Romeo, Strikers, Javelin, air defense system, among others. For The Print, this is Snehesh Alex Philip. Do subscribe to The Print's YouTube channel for more such videos.